Simhachalam Dham ki jai. Sorry. Hare Krishna. So we'll continue now with the presentation by His Grace Damodar Prabhu and His Grace Madan Sundar Prabhu. They are on an initiative from ISKCON GBC on devotee care. So we're very glad that they're on their tour. They're also visiting Simhachalam on the auspicious occasion of Caturdasi festival. So a big Hari Bol, please, for them. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much.
Can make it more sharper. Check it out. Is good? Okay. Hare Krishna. This can pick it up here. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. So, I think some of you would just like to, absorb yourself in seeing the beautiful altar of Lord Narasimha, glancing at him and receiving his merciful glance. Sorry to interrupt your meditation. But we are going to start devotee care seminar here from 11 onwards. And just a clarification, the seminar will have two parts today. We'll have the first half till 12:15. We'll take up Gayatri break, and after the break also the seminar continues on the triangle of fulfillment. So we'll explore the broader and the deeper meaning of devotee care as defined by the GBC, and then we will have a discussion on the triangle of fulfillment in life. So we'll begin by the chanting the invocation prayers. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yeda Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadavahyam Dadati Swapadantikam. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shannavadi Pashyatya Deshatarine Vancha Kalpatarubhescha Kripa Sindhuve Vacha Paritanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Ugram Vira Mahavishnam Jalantam Sarvato Mukham Narsimham Bhishanam Bhadram Mrityor Namameham. Jai Narasimha, Shri Narasimha, Jai Narasimha Dev, Pladesha Jaya Padma Mukha Padma Bringa. Hare Krishna. So, first of all, I want to express my deep gratitude to His Grace Govind Dev Prabhu for hosting this amazing festival overall, and also giving us this opportunity to share about devotee care. We have been traveling in Europe for last 3 weeks, and wherever we went, we saw a beautiful photo of Lord Narasimha Prahlad, right, of Simhachalam. So our eagerness to have the darshan was increasing, day by day. And today, we got the fulfillment of our long cherished desire. We are visiting this place for the first time, and it's such a beautiful place. So thank you so much. This is a holy place, holy dham, and I feel very blessed and very honored to be able to discuss this holy topic in this holy abode of Simhachalam. His Holiness Sachinandan Swami Maharaj today morning amazingly described that how Lord Narasimha Dev, when he was so angry, the anger was there only in one eye, but the other eye had affection for Prahlad. Right? So simultaneously, right? So both his anger and affection actually are demonstrating his love for his devotees. It's both devotee care. His killing the demons is an aspect of devotee care, and his bhakta vatsalta, his parental affection for his devotees, is also another aspect of devotee care. So though one eye had anger, one eye had anger and other eye had affection, but both eyes were tinged with devotee care only. So that's my small realization after hearing His Holiness Sachinandan Swami Maharaj this morning. So we are again so blessed to be speaking on devotee care in the presence of the Lord of devotee care, Lord Narasimha. We'll begin with the words of Srila Prabhupada. And just a minute, where is the pointer? Yeah. Okay, can someone read it out? We have the microphone here. To circulate. I need someone to volunteer to please read this out. Yes. Okay, thank you.
Vaikuntha thinking, everyone should be friendly for the service of the Lord. Everyone should praise another's service to the Lord and not be proud of his own service. This is the way of Vaishnava thinking, Vaikuntha thinking. Srimad-Bhagavatam, 7th canto, 5th chapter, 12th purport.
Thank you, Hare Krishna. What do we learn from this quote of Prabhupada in relation to devotee care? Some thoughts. Please, from this quote of Prabhupada from 7.5.12, what aspect of devotee care do we learn? What aspect of devotee care is coming out? Your reflections on this in relation to devotee care. Sorry? Have respect for others. Okay, good. So one aspect of devotee care is have respect for others. Thank you. Yes, your name, Prabhu? Paulan. Okay. Paulan. Bhakta Paulan. Hare Krishna. Thank you. Powell. Okay, Bhakta Powell. Okay, thank you. So, thank you for correcting me, getting the right pronunciation. Bhakta Powell. Bhakta Powell. Now got it. It's about devotee care. We have to pronounce the names right. You have to put some energy to learn the right pronunciation. Okay, thank you. Yes, your name, and then you can. Jiva Ji.
Jiva, yeah. Jiva Doya.
Okay, fine. Jiva Ji.
Yeah, just Jiva Ji.
Okay.
So, what I see here is, as a whole, we're like a body, and each person represents an organ or a function of the body. And we should have a deep understanding that everything that we're doing helps the whole body. So if I'm the liver, you're the heart. If you're the heart, you're the brain.
Okay.
You're the legs. You're the this, and it makes up a whole body of service in the whole, under the whole umbrella of selfless service to the Lord.
Okay. Good. Interesting observation. We all are one body. Different limbs of the body support each other. So as devotees, we should support each other.
Absolutely.
Okay.
The heart does not say that the liver is not beating fast enough.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much. Yes.
I would say it's also about unconditional love. Like you're not expecting anything back, right?
Okay. Unconditional love from
service. Like you're not proud of his own service.
Okay, not proud of one's own service.
Also, you're not really expecting anything back. You're giving for the sake of giving, or for service for the Lord.
Mm-hmm. Okay, good. So we learn selfless service, unconditional love from this quote. Another aspect of devotee care. Thank you. Your name?
Kamala.
Kamala. Hare Krishna. Thank you. Some other thoughts regarding what do we learn in relation to devotee care from this quote? Humility. Who said that? Okay, good. Humility. From where you got the humility? Second point, not be proud. If we are not to be proud, that requires some humility of the heart. Also to praise someone else requires humility. And not to be proud. Yeah, we learn humility from this. Good. Thank you for sharing that. Yes, Govinda Prabhu. Appreciation. Appreciation. Actually, everyone should praise another service to the Lord. Here the word praise we can substitute with appreciation, which Prabhupada himself does in the second half of the purport. We'll go to that. He explicitly says we should appreciate others' service to the Lord. Okay, before we go ahead, when someone appreciates you, how do you feel? Happy, you feel happy. Something else? When someone appreciates you, how do you feel? Safe. Happy, safe. Special. Good. We feel special. We feel motivated. Yeah, very good. We feel motivated. Motivated to serve. Motivated to serve. Good. We feel motivated to serve. When someone appreciates our service, we feel motivated to serve. Yes, Prabhu. We feel careful. When someone appreciates, we feel. I'm talking of feeling. That is flattery. That's flattery. That's a little bit, yeah. So he used to say, Srila Bhaktivedanta Thakur, those who flatter me are my enemies. But we are talking of appreciation. So not going to the extreme of flattering somebody. Because, appreciation is for the purpose to motivate, encourage, while flattery is done with the purpose to exploit somebody. We have some vested interest over there when we flatter. So that is like, one who flatters is our enemy. But a good point. Yes, something more about how do you feel when someone appreciates you? Sorry? Cooperating? Cooperation. When someone praises you, you become more cooperative. Okay, enthusiastic, cooperative, fine, good. If someone praises you, you are so cooperative, then we will feel some obligation to cooperate. So yes, in that sense, that's good. We will feel enthusiastic if someone appreciates us, good. Oh, you feel happy. Okay, so now I would like to look. Prabhupada says, this is Vaikuntha, when we appreciate other service. When we are not proud and have the humility of the heart and appreciate others, Prabhupada is writing, this is Vaikuntha thinking. This is Vaikuntha thinking. Any incident, any example of some devotee in Vaikuntha praising another devotee? In Vaikuntha, we get description of Vaikuntha in 3rd canto of Srimad-Bhagavatam. The 4 Kumaras going to Vaikuntha. Chapter 15, 16 of Srimad-Bhagavatam. We get some information about Vaikuntha. In that description of Vaikuntha, is there some devotee praising another devotee? Any recollection? Fine, that's all right. The flowers of Vaikuntha, they praise. Whom do they praise? Bee. The flower do not praise the bee. The birds praise the bee. The flowers, whom do the flower praise? The flowers of Vaikuntha, they praise the good fortune of someone. Can get, yes, who said Tulsi? Yes, good. I wanted to get the answer from you, and I got it. The flowers of Vaikuntha, though they are very beautiful, very fragrant, they praise Tulsi, because Tulsi is so dear to the Lord. Now, all the flowers, there are so many of them, all the flowers may not always find place at the lotus feet daily. Sometimes some flowers, sometimes others, or they may not find a place in the Lord's garland. But Tulsi is always there. Tulsi is always there. So therefore, all the flowers, they praise, appreciate Tulsi. And it has been described that these flowers are suman. Suman, the word is used is sumana, so. This is a term, suman, if you have heard the term suman, in Sanskrit, suman means flower. But suman has another meaning, means good-hearted. Man means heart, su means good. Good-hearted. So these flowers of Vaikuntha are very good-hearted because they have praise for another devotee. They have praise for another devotee. Similarly, the birds, the sweet singing birds, they just calm down and allow the bee to sing the glories of the Lord. And Prabhupada, in both the incidents, Prabhupada says, in Vaikuntha, there is no envy, there is appreciation for other service. So that's about appreciation, which Prabhupada highlights over here. From this quote, something else, any other observation regarding devotee care? What else do we learn about devotee care?
I would say,
who has the mic? Oh, okay, yes, David Prabhu.
see the good in the smallest things.
See the good in the...
Being very grateful to even for the smallest things.
Okay, be grateful even for the smallest things. So good point, good point. There is a very beautiful insight given in Chaitanya Charitamrita. It said, what's the nature of our Lord? What's the nature of the Lord? It's mentioned, Ishvara sabhava bhaktera nalai aprad alpa seva bahu mane atma prayant prasad. The nature of Krishna, nature of Lord Narasimha is, he considers a big fault. If somehow devotee commits a big mistake, a big blunder, he considers it to be very small, minimizes it. And he considers the small service too big to be big. Alpa seva bahumane. Just see how magnanimous is the nature of the Lord. A big fault is minimized and a small service is magnified. That's the nature of the Lord. That's the nature of the Lord. So, therefore, as devotees, we should see that if by chance some devotee has committed a big mistake, we should say, that's all right. Anyone can commit mistake. But if there is some small service, we should highly praise it. That's also important aspect of devotee care, and that's the nature of the Lord. Okay, thank you. One more thing. Sometimes we talk of devotee care and the discussion comes, whose responsibility it is. We get the answer from here, the very first word. Everyone. Everyone. Right? Everyone actually. We all are responsible for devotee care. So that also we learn from here. Prabhupada continues. This is a very insightful purport. Okay, may I request someone to please read? Someone who has the microphone. Yeah, okay, please.
Everyone should be allowed to render service to the Lord to the best of his ability, and everyone should appreciate the service of others. Such are the activities of Vaikuntha.
Okay, so in continuation, we have already discussed about appreciation. But here there is another insightful point Prabhupada is making. Everyone should be allowed to render service to the Lord to the best of his ability. Again, Prabhupada emphasized in the same purport, these are the activities of Vaikuntha. So, what do we learn from the first line? Share your reflections. What does it mean? Everyone should be allowed to render service to the best of his ability.
That we should not be judgmental about somebody's ability. Sometimes we hear, okay, maybe you cannot do this. Somebody, yeah.
Okay, good. We should not be judgmental of someone's ability. That's a nice point. Or we may not minimize someone's ability at times, being judgmental or minimize someone's ability. In this relation, there is a very beautiful pastime of Hanuman. Can someone recall that? Yeah, I think many of you have got it. Hanuman and the squirrel. Hanuman and the squirrel. So Hanuman kind of, probably by the arrangement of Lord Ram, Hanuman actually is a very great and humble devotee. But sometime by the arrangement of the Lord wants to give a lesson. So Hanuman became a little proud. And he said, "Squirrel, you get out of the way. What are these few grains what difference is it going to make, your few grains in building this bridge?" But Lord Ram said, "No, the squirrel is trying to serve to the best of his ability. And you are trying to serve to the best of your ability. Both services are equal to me." Just see that. Right? So here we get the same understanding that how everyone should be allowed. We should not discourage anyone. We should not judge anyone. Rather, what's the positive aspect of it? Other than discouraging or judging, what's the positive aspect of it? Yes. Take the microphone and speak. Because everyone would like to hear your words.
Positive engagement in a way so that everyone feels the sense of belongingness and the responsibility towards the organization.
Good. So one thing is not to discourage or not to judge others. Other side is we want to see that everyone is positively engaged. That means we want to support devotees' service so that devotees can continue to render. See, that's a very important aspect of devotee care. So that the devotee, our service is our connection with the Lord. So that the devotees may continue to serve. At times, devotees will need some kind of support system to serve. To give an example, I was serving in the kitchen, and in our kitchen there was a hall like this, and everyone sat on the floor, and the devotees were chopping vegetables. And someone came and said, I also want to chop vegetables. I said, "Please take the seat." "I can't sit on the floor." Oh. So in order to support that devotee service, I thought, okay, wait. So we'll have to arrange a table and the chair, a table that's slightly higher than the chair so that you can also chop vegetables. So let's make arrangement. Let's make some arrangement for you can also serve. So different devotees at different times will need different kind of support so that they may continue to serve. They may continue to serve as we grow in society. Again, giving another case study, at Radha Gopinath temple where I grew up, and there were not a single chair. I'm talking of 1998, 1999 and so on, those initial years. But after 2008 or so, some devotees stopped coming to the temple, and Radhanath Maharaj became very concerned. He saw that some devotees are not coming, and he asked them, "Why are you not coming to the temple?" They said, "We can't sit on the floor." And now the congregation is growing. We need to create some support system. And then, not just chairs. Maharaj said, "Why chair? Let's put some nice sofas." So we need that support system. There was not a single chair I have seen. Everyone sitting on the floor at one point of time. When the devotees were young, congregation was young. But then we needed at some point of time. And then the sofa, then the chairs, then we put some more chairs that we pick it up during the classes, so on and so forth. Yeah. So to let the devotees, to support the devotee service. I want to give another very quick example of supporting others' devotee service from Srimad-Bhagavatam. The servants of the Lord are called Haridas, the general term, Haridas means the servant of the Lord. There are 3 Haridasas mentioned in Srimad-Bhagavatam. Yudhishthir Maharaj is called as Haridas. Haridasasya Rajrishe Rajasuya Mahodayam. This Haridas performed the great Rajasuya sacrifice. A term is used for him. Another Haridas is Uddhavaji. He is also addressed as Haridas in Srimad-Bhagavatam. And who is the third Haridas? Govardhan. Giriraj Govardhan. Among the 3, who is the topmost? Govardhan. Therefore, his name is Haridas Varya. He is the topmost among the Haridas. Of course, the other 2 are no less. So these gradations are transcendental. But yet, Giriraj Govardhan is described as Haridas Varya. And the main reason for that is he likes to support others' service to Krishna. How? On his head. He gives, He supplies the fresh grass to the cows so that they can in turn serve Krishna with nice fragrant milk. He provides minerals so that the cowherd boys can take those minerals and decorate Krishna beautifully. Yes, in various ways, Giriraj Govardhan, he takes greater pleasure in supporting other service to Krishna than in directly serving Krishna. So therefore, in bhakti, the servant of the Lord is glorious, but one who is servant of the servant is considered even more glorious. One who assists others in their service, that person is considered even more glorious. That's a transcendental hierarchy. So therefore, assisting, allowing others, here would mean supporting other devotees' service to the Lord. Supporting other devotees' service to the Lord. Okay, so we learned certain important aspects from these two quotes. Now I would like to ask you, what does care means to you? So we saw some aspects of care in the last two quotes. Care means to appreciate others, support other service, to have humility, and so on and so forth. Now please, what does care means to you? Please describe in one word. So we are exploring the broader meaning of care. In one word, what does care means to you? Love, good. Love. Service, responsibility, encouragement, good. Someone said empathy. Empathy, that's very good. Sorry? Compassion, good. Full presence? Full presence. Okay, being present to not be absent-minded. Be present with the devotees. Be present, good. Sometime, just about being present, I just want to share one incident. I was walking through the temple corridor, and as the habit sometime is, I was looking at my phone while passing. And one devotee was coming from opposite, and he wanted to greet and talk to me. But while I was looking at the phone screen, I just walked past by that devotee and did not even notice the presence of the devotee. And then when I went ahead, then someone pointed out, hey, that devotee wanted to, looks like talk to you, greet you. I said, oh. Then I noticed, I went back and I apologized. And then I could, that devotee wanted to just talk about something, express something. And later I realized, if I'm looking at the screen sometime, then I'm not in the present. I don't know who are around me. I'm just connected maybe distantly, but those who are in proximity to me, I may be disconnected from them or not be in the present. Then I decided I will not look at the phone screen while being in the public place. Especially, moving around in the temple or somewhere. Because someone may want to greet, talk to you, express something to you, and so on and so forth. Okay, thank you. Being present also for the devotees. Sorry? Attentiveness. Yes. Care means to be attentive. Yes, Prabhu. Educating. Education is an important aspect of care. In fact, that's the very first purpose of ISKCON. The very first purpose of ISKCON is education, and that too systematic education. Thank you for that nice, insightful meaning of care. Okay, that's the activity. Yes, that like responsibility, someone shared care means the responsibility. One of the responsibility we have is distributing books. Regarding book distribution, we were having 25th anniversary of Mayapur Institute. Just recently in Mayapur, there was a celebration of 25th Silver Jubilee celebration of Mayapur Institute. And one very senior devotee said, yes, we have to distribute books and we have to continue. But also Prabhupada wanted us to read the books. Not just read the books, he wanted us to study the books also, go deeper, study the books. Therefore, he instituted several exams. But we don't even stop there. We want to live these books. So that completes in relation to Prabhupada books, the loop or a journey that we want to distribute books, we want to read it ourselves, but deeper study and then live the books. And one aspect of living the books is actually devotee care, living with the devotees. What we learn, we live that out. Thank you for sharing that. So we saw so many aspects of the word care or the devotee care. Broadly, the meanings which you all shared can be categorized into two broad categories of meaning. And that is, care is a virtue. Like the very first word, care, the very first word that comes to our mind and which also came out from here is love. Love is the virtue of the heart, the value of the heart. Compassion is the virtue of the heart. But then the virtue of the heart has to manifest in terms of some practical action. Otherwise it will be just a lip service. Someone says, oh, I love you so much. What love? You forgot it's my birthday today. You forgot this is a wedding anniversary. What kind of love is that? So, the love has to manifest in terms of practical action or some responsibility that we take. So there's another second aspect of care is our action or conduct. So this is a noun, care is a virtue is a noun, but also care is a verb, an action, a conduct. So that's the two aspects of care or devotee care. Just like bhakti is traditionally translated as devotion, but Prabhupada translated bhakti as devotional service. That is his genius. It's not just the feeling of the heart, but that feeling of the heart, which is important, has to manifest as practical service, and therefore devotional service. Similarly, the devotee care has these two aspects, and thus we want that the care as a virtue should pervade all devotional activities or all aspects of our society. Therefore, we are discussing about devotee care. When we talk about it, discuss about it, gradually the virtue, the value pervade. Secondly, we want the caring activities to be bounded and complement all our services. That means we want to integrate devotee care with everything else we do. So therefore this is how, the two aspects of the two broader meaning of care are to be put into practical action. For the virtue to pervade and the practical action of care to be integrated with all the other devotional activities. I'd like to share one story from Chaitanya Charitamrita, because Chaitanya Charitamrita is filled with lot of pastimes of devotee care. One of you said devotee care is about compassion. Who is one of the most compassionate devotee of Lord Chaitanya? Nityananda Prabhu is Lord's own brother, own expansion. Who is the most compassionate devotee of Lord Chaitanya? Yes, Prabhu. Vasudeva Datta. Your name? Param Shreya Das. Param Shreya. Prabhu has said Vasudeva Datta. He is one of the most compassionate devotee of Lord Chaitanya. He wanted Param Shreya of everyone. Everyone to go back to Godhead as a Param Shreya and let me suffer the sins of all. So he made that prayer. Okay, so that is known to the devotees that Vasudeva Datta Thakur is one of the most compassionate devotees because he prayed. There is another aspect of his personality which is not so well known to devotees. What is that? Whatever Vasudeva Datta would earn, now this is practical action, that's like it is a virtue of the heart, he made a prayer out of compassion, but whatever he would earn, he would spend on devotees. He would not save. So when Lord Chaitanya visited, he became concerned. Lord Chaitanya became concerned. He said, well, you are a family man, you are a grahastha, and you have no savings. You are so liberal, whatever you earn, you spend it on the devotees. Then he said, this will not work. As a grahastha, you must have savings. This is Lord Chaitanya. Grahastha hai na iho chahiye sanchay. He says, you have to have some savings because you are a grahastha, but somehow you are not cut out for that. You are just so liberal. You looks like, even if I tell you, because your nature is to be so liberal, you won't be able to save it. Therefore it says, today I appoint Shivanand Sen as your financial manager. Because Shivanand Sen is a yatra manager. Yatra manager means he has to be financially astute. So he says, now you become his finance manager, make sure he has savings. You see, now two things over here. First of all, Lord Chaitanya, who has come to give us the highest wealth of the spiritual world, is concerned about the savings of his grahastha devotee. He's concerned about it. Because we are in this material world, it's your responsibility as a grahastha to save. One thing. Second, he realized that he doesn't have that nature to do it. So some other devotee has to support or complement. So in a community of devotees, at times, one devotee may not be cut out for something. And we may tell the devotee, if you can do this, if you can be a little bit more punctual. But, it's some devotees are not cut out for certain things, At times, and we feel they are insincere, no, At times, it's not like that. It's just that different devotees are different. So Lord Chaitanya realized he is not going to save for himself. Someone else has to do that. And therefore he appoints, and that's the community dynamics, to support each other, to complement each other. He appoints Shivanand Sen as the financial manager for Vasudeva Datta, who is not just most compassionate, very liberal and very magnanimous also. Okay, so this is one example of devotee care in terms of financial care. Financial care. Lord Chaitanya is concerned, your finances must be taken care. What are the other areas where the devotees may need care? Health, good. What kind of health? Physical health is one. Emotional and mental health, even more than physical health. Emotional health care has been identified as one of the topmost priority in general in the society, because it's rapidly declining. Emotional health care. Health care, the devotees need support in health care. And we will be discussing about some practical ways of supporting devotees in their health care and other aspects of devotee care on Monday, Tuesday. So on Monday, Tuesday, we'll go into certain details, but most of you may not be here. But those of you who will be here, so I am just informing you that the seminar is going to continue post-festival on Monday, Tuesday. We will be discussing certain more details. But now we are doing the foundational part, the introductory part of devotee care. Fine. So the devotees needs support in, or we need to take care of the devotees' health, physical health, emotional health, some other areas, some other aspects of devotee care. Yes, Govinda Prabhu? Creating opportunities of what kind of opportunities? Some example? Engagement, work, good. Engagement, work. Some devotees, like probably Bhaktivedanta Hospital has around 400 devotees who are working in the hospital. It's a great opportunity. They can work in a very devotional environment, directly contributing to the mission of Prabhupada. So, opportunities of services, engagement, various opportunities. Good. Yes, Prabhu.
To enhance this, helping that other can engage according to their dharma.
Once again, please repeat.
That other devotees, they are helped so they can engage according to their dharma.
Okay, according to their dharma, according to their nature, psychophysical nature, yes. So we help support devotees so that they are properly engaged as per their psychophysical nature. Good point. Something else? Yes, Mother? Uh, areas, what are the areas, different areas we can support the devotees in? Reciprocation, you said. Okay, reciprocation is important. We are looking at now some tangible areas where the devotees may need support, like healthcare, finance, engaging devotees in creating opportunities of services. Some more areas you think of? Education, good point. Education is an important aspect. Education. And education is for all levels. Different levels of education for different devotees. Education, sometimes even training devotees in certain skills, helping value education for the children, so on and so forth. Education is very wide, very broad area, but it's a very good point. Something else, yes? Emotional healing comes under emotional health care. Good point, already covered under emotional health care. Spiritual growth. Spiritual, the first and the foremost area for devotee care is spiritual.
Devotional service.
Okay, basically the finding some suitable service for each devotee as per their psychophysical nature, and they are engaged. Good. So, thank you very much, you all. Yes, something else? Okay, fine, good. So, the GBC Devotee Care Committee identified 12 broad areas where the devotees need to be supported. The devotees need to be supported. So, have a look over here. Spiritual life is the first and the foremost. But under spiritual life also, just read the subcategories. Each area of devotee care has several subcategories. Just to give an example, say like physical health care, but at the end of the life, the physical health care is very different. It's called palliative care, end of the life care. We talk to some devotees, certain yatras, and we say, okay, do we have something about devotee care going on? And they said, yes, we have very nice devotee care. And if any devotee is about to leave the body, we go with the holy waters of all the holy kundas we have collected, and we go with the Maha garland. We make sure that no devotee leaves this world without the holy water and without the Maha garland. And we have perfect devotee care. I said, well, that's about when they are leaving. Do you do some care while they are living? So for some, devotee care means now they are going to leave the body, and we must be there with these two things. And maybe additional holy dust also. Holy dust, holy water, and Maha garland, and make sure that they are cared for. Kirtan, yes. Right? So that's the end of the life care, but while the devotees are living, also they need a lot of care, support. Right? They continue to be engaged. So just imagine the spiritual life is the first and the foremost. But to support that spiritual life, there are other 11 areas of care which are not directly spiritual, but they are also not material because they support spiritual life. There are 11 more areas to support that one spiritual life. Just see how vast, and these are subcategories, and there could be further more subcategories as the time goes, as the devotee community evolves. Like Braj Bihari Prabhu is involved in the mediation, conflict resolution. This is the 12th area, you can see. Relationships, we have we have a premarital training in Radha Gopinath, then during the marriage, after the marriage, right? So so that the relationship is settled, there is a training before, during, and after. Right? Post-marital, pre-marital are kind of training, so that there is a constant guidance regarding the, just talking of the third area of the relationships. So in this way, as the community grows, we see that what are the different areas we need to support the devotees in. But this has been worked out by the GBC Devotee Care Committee, that we need to support and provide care in these 12 broad areas. If you look in detail, there are hundreds of them, actually. There are hundreds of them. Just like these are the 12 areas, what about the recipients of care? Recipients. Similarly, there are 12 broad recipients of care. Just see how broad devotee care is. Okay, just to give you some understanding, Prabhupada says a civilized society means which protects 5. Who are those 5? The cows, women, elderly, children, brahmanas. They are the first 5. Civilized society means that protect the 5. And then there are 4 ashramas, brahmachari, grihastha, vanaprastha, sannyasa. So this 12 list is divided into 5 plus 4 plus 3. 5 are to be always protected. Then the 4 ashramas, amongst the 3 are the leaders, senior devotees and other temple residents. Any question before we move ahead? Yes, Prabhu. Other the areas.
So, but how the care is propagated, like for example, there is a financial situation and the devotee is expecting that this financial situation will resolve. So, we should also have a trust on the so-called counselor. I mean, how there has to be a proper structure so that the recipient will exactly trust.
Okay. Okay. So, maybe I'll just paraphrase your question. So, in order for the care to be effectively given, the particular recipient gets a particular kind of care, there has to be some proper system and structure for that. Right? What's the system and structure? Yes. So, we are going at a now little at an advanced level of discussion. That's good. The point is good. I'll answer a question. Before we go ahead, I'll share with you one small incident, and then I'll build up the answer to your question. When I showed this 2 slides in one of the seminar, one devotee said, "My God, so many areas, so many recipients. We are very few people in the temple, already so many services, and now you have increased that. How are we going to manage it?" How are you going to manage it? So I said, wait, don't feel it's your responsibility. Right? Because he was in one of the leadership role. I said, no, it's not just your responsibility. It's whose responsibility? Everyone's responsibility, or the community responsibility. So the answer is given by His Holiness Sachinandan Swami Maharaj. Can someone please read it out?
Many devotees have already left Krishna consciousness because they feel physically, emotionally, socially, and even spiritually starved. But all these needs could be provided if we had communities of care. His Holiness Sachinananda Swami ki jai.
So the whole thing is we want to have communities of care, first of all. Devotee care doesn't talk of any particular system, counselor system, mentorship system, any particular system. Devotee care doesn't talk of. If you see the devotee care, the global devotee care handbook, which has been approved by the GBC, it doesn't talk of any system. The system and the structures are developed locally. So the principles of devotee care are global. So we understand what are the principles of devotee care, and then the leaders, they sit together and they decide how are you going to implement this important principles in actuality. So therefore, from we try to understand the principle and the values underlying devotee care. We inform or share some guidelines, what's happening in other parts, and then the system and the structures are worked out locally. So from global to local. So that's up to the local leadership, as per the dynamic of each. So in the devotee care course that we do, which is a very comprehensive 20 hours training of devotee care, 50% of the time is for working out the practical strategy for devotee care in the local scenario. But the devotees, after they understand, what is the devotee care all about, its importance, after we train them in certain skills required for devotee care, certain sensitivities and so on, then the application is worked out by the leaders locally. So there's the last phase, is gradually developed, it's gradually worked out. Fine. Any other questions? Thank you, Prabhu, for that question. Something else? Yes, Mother? Is it okay to take help from outsiders? Like, example?
Like, for example, financial matters.
Yeah.
Like a financial advisor who is by profession.
Well, there are many well-wishers of ISKCON. If you know somebody whom I can trust, my friend is a good financial advisor, I can connect some devotees to that. That's like, we want to support different devotee care services. Like one of my friends, he told one of his friend is a very good travel and immigration person. So now for all our travel, I contact him. And he's quite expert. So he connected me, with that person. He's not a devotee, but he's a well-wisher of ISKCON, but he's very expert. He's very expert. So therefore, the friends of ISKCON who are expert in certain areas, when we know, we would like to connect the devotees. And that's how we support various services. Thank you. Any other question? Yes, Prabhu, Paramshri, yes, Prabhu. You can take a mic.
In ISKCON, we have many ambitious projects. When Srila Prabhupada came, he brought a whole package of very big. His motto was thinking big.
Yes.
So sometimes we also choose by oneself an ambitious project, or we get hand over a project. So sometimes it happened that we overwhelm ourselves in such projects and even others. And then the outcome is, maybe the project is achieved, but simultaneously devotees have left the movement. What is your answer to this?
Operation successful, patient died.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. It's a very good point, because many a times, the Prabhupada was very ambitious. Prabhupada gave us devotees several projects, no doubt. So again, but if you see in life of Prabhupada also, there are many, many incidents where Prabhupada was also personally very caring. To give an example, Prabhupada, so forcefully, so fearlessly preached all over the world, you are not the body. But every letter he sent, he would say, my dear so-and-so, please accept my blessings. What would be the next line? I hope this meets you in good health. Every letter he is signing, I hope this meets you in good health. Health for, it was physical health or emotional health. It's very obvious. He's preaching all over the world, you're not the body, but Prabhupada is concerned about the devotee's health. And he would write in letters also, he would write, you could take this medicine and so on and so forth. Yeah, he would prescribe some, little Ayurvedic medicine or some certain small domestic new things you knew. Prabhupada was a pharmacist. So he wanted devotees to have good health. So there is no doubt, there are so many incidents. The very first building he made in Mayapur was, very first building in Mayapur International Headquarters, which was the first building in Mayapur. Chakra, long building for the devotees. Even before he made anything for the deities, he created a facility for the devotees. So Prabhupada, he had the projects, but he also was a very caring leader himself. So now as we have to see, as the devotees are growing, maturing. So as the leaders in GBC, now the leaders are prioritizing, and we have to have equal priority for the people who are handling the projects. It's a people versus project question. So we don't want to burden the devotees with projects. Projects are important. You want to take care of the people, the devotees, and the devotees will take care of the projects. I was just talking. We were giving a seminar in Zurich, and one lady, she have worked in the corporate. She was reporting to the managing director of the corporate, and she said once I was sitting with the managing director, and someone called him, and my managing director said, he heard the person and said, okay, you tell me what support you need from my side which will help you to do the best in your job. I'll support. Right? What support you need. So therefore, again, the corporates understand that, we have projects, but we need people who are encouraged, who are inspired to take care of the projects. But actually devotee care is even more deeper. It's even more deeper than just the corporate, because the corporates, they want to take care of people so that the people are productive. But there is a much deeper reason why we want to take care of devotees. Not so that they are productive. We want to take care of devotees not for what they do, but for what they are. This is one of the most important basic principle for devotee care. We want to take care of devotees for not what they do, but for what they are. That means they are devotees of Krishna. Right? So that's a much deeper reason for us, to take care of the devotees. And Krishna is very pleased when we take care of his devotees, when we support his devotees. So if you see, Prabhupada had this. When someone like a reporter would come to Prabhupada, and they would take the interview and then close down all the cameras and say, thank you Swamiji, Prabhupada would still want to talk to the reporters. He was more interested in the reporters than in the report. He wanted them to understand Krishna consciousness and take to Krishna consciousness. Right? So he wanted them to represent the ISKCON properly, no doubt. They should report it properly. But he was also more interested in them, not simply what they can do for him, but them as individual souls. So his concern was even deeper. So therefore devotee care goes beyond just that, that corporate level of productivity and so on and so forth. It goes much deeper. So, to conclude, I will show you, to conclude my part, the seminar is not concluding here. We'll have a break after 5 minutes after I conclude. Then we'll have, as I said, part 2 of the devotee care seminar. This is introductory, the triangle of fulfillment, right? After the Gayatri break. How care helps us grow. Just like Lord Chaitanya, he gives the example. Our bhakti is like, the growth of our bhakti is like the growth of a creeper. We sow the seed, and that small, sapling that comes out of the seed, it needs good amount of care. So how devotee care helps us grow? We'll see that. So when someone comes to Krishna consciousness, the first contact with Hare Krishna, a person who is inquisitive, the question naturally comes to the mind, what is Hare Krishna? What are these Hare Krishna? Looks like strange people, but they are happy. There is something, right? There's something valuable looks like. The person feels attracted. And What is Hare Krishna? Even if a person says, what is Hare Krishna? He has chanted Hare Krishna. Therefore, the devotee. As per Chaitanya Charitamrita, anyone who utters the name of Krishna even once, that person is a devotee. So here is the bottommost level of devotee. Next, when a person receives care from the devotee, some attention, he comes to the next level and says, I like Hare Krishna. Especially, the kirtan is good, and more than that, the prasad. Right? Good people, good prasad. I like Hare Krishna. Continues to associate with the devotees, receive care, goes to the next higher level. This is the pyramid of growth. I am a Hare Krishna. Now, I am a Hare Krishna here is only just, Sunday to Sunday. This person has his own full social life, goes on parties, doesn't follow any principles, maybe sometime have drinks and all that, etc. Alcoholic drinks, etc. So, but, at least on Sundays, I am Hare Krishna. And when some of his friends call him on the phone, he answers by saying, Hare Krishna. And they are surprised. Oh, the new avatar of Hare Krishna. So, I am a Hare Krishna. Likes to identify now. Sunday to Sunday or festival to festival, this person shows up. But then, it takes time for everyone, different amount of time. If the person continues to associate with devotees and receive guidance, affection, love and care, he goes to the next level where he says, my life is Hare Krishna. Now he is committed. It's not just Sunday to Sunday, his entire life is molded as Hare Krishna. Like sometimes devotees ask the question, how to balance material life and spiritual life, etc. But actually speaking, devotees have only one life. There are not two lives. Devotees have only one life, that is spiritual life. And everything else is meant to support or be harmonized. So my life is Hare Krishna. Guess what's the next level in the growth pyramid? Huh? Krishna, I am yours. Fine. When my life is Hare Krishna in reciprocation, Krishna accepts me and I am yours. My life is Hare Krishna, I am yours is included in that. But it's a good point. Still, what's the next level? Total consciousness means, in terms of Hare Krishna, see, there is a consistency over here. Starting from what is Hare Krishna to I like Hare Krishna, I am a Hare Krishna, my life is Hare Krishna. What's the next level? Wait. Yes, Siddhesha Prabhu? My goal is Hare Krishna. When my life is Hare Krishna, my goal is definitely Hare Krishna. Yes? To spread Hare Krishna, that means my mission is Hare Krishna. Now I want many others to come to Hare Krishna. And so my life is Hare Krishna, but I want to see so many more people, their life is also centered around Krishna. So in this way, this is a growth pyramid. And individually and collectively, we will grow when we actually invest in devotee care. So again, at the conclusion of ISKCON 50 years, among the leaders there was discussion and it was agreed upon that we have amazing deities, worship of the deities. I have a friend who heads the Citibank in Asia, and he was saying, I went to Singapore, 4:30 Mangal Aarti. I went to Bangkok, 4:30 Mangal Aarti. I went to London, 4:30 Mangal Aarti. I came to Simhachalam, 4:30 Mangal Aarti. He said, wherever I go in ISKCON, 4:30 Mangal Aarti. He said, ISKCON is better managed than Citibank. It is better managed than Citibank. I said, wow, that's a great observation. So, in terms of serving the deities, taking care of deities, we are very good. We have resources, system and structures, the roles and responsibilities defined, everything. But we hardly have anything for devotee care, actually. Most temples do not have even a functioning devotee care department. We are just beginning. So, how is Bhagavatam defines the beginner devotee? One who has faith in the deities, but not equal faith in the devotees. How do we grow? When we have equal faith in the service of devotees. So, when we now invest equally or even more in the devotees, then individually and collectively will grow. So that's about the devotee care, how devotee care helps us grow in our spiritual life. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. We will take a break here, much needed. It's a long, since morning 4:30, many of you are here. So we will resume after 10 minutes, the part 2 of the seminar, The Triangle of Fulfillment by Madan Sundar Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much for your kind attention, for your enthusiastic participation. My deep gratitude to Govind Dev Prabhu once again for giving us this opportunity. Hare Krishna.
Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Damodar Prabhu ki jai. Thank you very much. So yeah, take the break, and I have to make some advertisement for the parallel seminar also.
Yes.
So if you're interested in the 9 keys of successful future for ISKCON, Pajabi Hari will start in a few minutes, and you can join right there in the tent. The program will start any moment. Hare Krishna.
Yes, so we have choices in ISKCON, you know. Another 1 hour, 15 minutes?
1 hour, another one?
Another 1 hour. So this is all the seminar is another 1 hour. So there are 2 parallel seminars.
So the seminars are parallel, so you have to make a decision now. Yes. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
There's enough devotees usually, but I just want to give some awareness.
Hare Krishna. Those of you, in case those of you are planning to join the seminar here, as part of the second seminar, we'll have some little skit or a role play. So I would need some characters for that. We can have one mother and around 3 men as a part of that role play. If you're around here, you can please come forward. I'll just walk you through with your role play. Thank you. Don't worry, you don't have to memorize any dialogue. You just have to read it out. Trust me, I won't make it difficult. I'll just give you something, you just have to read it out. It's just a conversation. Yeah, please come forward. Can I have some Prabhus also join? We'll try to do 2 skits. Don't be shy. Come forward. You're looking and smiling only. I need a couple of more men. The 2 skits. By the way, as part of the skit, no acting is required. Just be yourself. Let's make it more simple. Start with the first skit. Hare Krishna, Mother. All right. We would need one more Prabhu. If we can have one more Prabhu join the script. Hare Krishna, everyone. So, thank you for being around. So, we are already late. Oh, Maharaj. I just saw Maharaj, His Holiness Chandramauli Maharaj ki jai. So, with your blessings, Maharaj, I'll continue with the seminar. Start the topic. Thank you. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nitinamine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisheshunyavadi Vashatai Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Go Bhaktarinda Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Om Namo Bhagavate Narasimhaya Namaste Jastejase Aviravirbhava Vachanaka Vachadamasta Karmashayam Randhya Randhya Tamo Grasa Grasa Om Swaha Abhayam Abhayam Atmani Bhushta Om Sham Shri Prahlad Narasimha Bhagwan ki jai. Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna. Just quick second. So thank you for being here for the second part. So as part of this introduction to the devotee care program or training, the second part I would be touching upon Vaishnava relationships. So to begin with that, I will read a letter written by Srila Prabhupada back in 1974 to Atriya Rishi Prabhu. So if we can have some volunteers read out, it's a very beautiful letter on the topic of fault finding, utopianism, and the nature of devotees. Do I take the other mic or this mic to speak? Yeah, so, yeah. Hare Krishna. Yes, somebody would like to read?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes, Madhu.
It is not so much that because there may be some faults in our God brothers and God sisters, or because there may be some mismanagement or lack of cooperation, that this is due to being impersonalities. No.
Impersonalists.
Impersonals. No.
Okay. So there may be some faults and not, it's not because lack of cooperation, it's not because devotees are impersonalists towards each other. There's something else as a reason. Prabhupada speaks further. Please go ahead.
It is a nature of living condition to always have some fault. Even in the spiritual world, there is some fault in envy. Sometimes the gopis will quarrel over Krishna's favor, and once Krishna was so much attracted to Radharani that by mistake he tried to milk the bull instead of the cow.
So the faults not only exist in the material world, even in the spiritual world, mistakes happen. In fact, envy happen. Prabhupada is going to speak. Therefore, in Upadeshamrita in 6th verse, Rupa Goswami says, Drashte svabhava janite vapuchasta dosher. There are two kinds of faults, physiological and psychological. We should not pay attention to it. As in Sanskrit, this body is, or in Ayurveda, this body is made up of kapha, pitta, vata, and they are called doshas, which means our existence is made up of faults. If our existence is made up of faults, then what is the need for finding further faults? Therefore, Rupa Goswami says, don't look at faults, psychological or the physiological. And Prabhupada is saying, well, that's not only the part of the material world, even in spiritual world. And giving an example of how Krishna, while trying to milk, rather than milking the cow, he milked the bull. Because he was so attracted to Srimati Radharani. Please go ahead.
Sometimes, when the gopis used to dress and put on makeup to see Krishna, they would be too hasty and simmer kumkum and mascara in the wrong places. Their ornaments and dresses would appear as if small children were trying to dress themselves. Not very expert. Like that, there are so many such examples.
So like this, there are so many examples. But it is not the same as material fault or material envy. That's a very important line. Why? It is transcendental. Why it is transcendental? Because it is all centered around Krishna. Krishna is the center of the relationship. We can have somebody else take the mic and read further.
Hare Krishna. Sometimes when one gopi would serve Krishna very nicely, the others would say, oh, she has done so nicely. Now let me do better to please Krishna. It's envy.
This is envy. But Prabhupada says this is transcendental. Go ahead.
That is envy, but it is transcendental without malice. So we shall not expect that anywhere there is any utopia. Rather, that is impersonalism.
To expect that there's not going to be any faults, it's all going to be perfect, is rather a sign of impersonalism. We are personalities and there are going to be some if and buts in everything. That's what Prabhupada is saying here. Please go ahead.
People should not expect that even in the Krishna consciousness society, there will be utopia, because devotees are persons. Therefore, there will always be some lacking. But the difference is...
This is very important. Please pay attention.
Their lacking has become transcendental because they have given up everything to serve Krishna. Money, jobs, reputation, wealth, big educations, everything.
I was speaking about this particular subject at another temple. The devotee said, Prabhupada is speaking about pure devotees, not devotees. I said, wait, I have not completed the letter. Listen what Prabhupada further says. So it's very important, Prabhupada says, devotees have given up everything for the sake of serving the Lord. Now, that is part of transcendental. Somebody else can read it now? You can pass on the mic.
Despite whatever faults they may have, their topmost intention is to serve Krishna. One who is engaged in devotional service, despite the most abominable action, is to be considered saintly because he is rightly situated.
And now comes the classic line. Please go ahead.
The devotees of Krishna are the most exalted persons on this planet, better than kings, all of them. So we should always remember that.
You're better than Prince Charles or whatever the kings we have existing. This is according to Prabhupada. The devotees of the Lord are better than the kings of the world. And this is how Prabhupada is actually exhibiting his respect for devotees. This is what devotees are all about. Not pure devotees, the devotees. Prabhupada didn't say the pure devotees are better than the kings of the world. Please continue.
Like the bumblebee, we should always look for the nectar, the best qualities of a person. Not like the utopians, who are like the flies, always going to open source, always looking for faults. And because they cannot find any utopia or anyone without fault, they want to become void, merge, become nothing, thinking that is utopia, to become void of personality.
Interesting. Impersonalism starting from here. But they cannot find anyone without fault. They think it's all useless. Better have no relationship. 4th chapter, verse number 9, Janma Karma Chamedavya. Prabhupada in that Prabhupada write, what is the basis of impersonalistic tendencies? People get so frustrated with the relationships. They say, I don't want any relationship, even with God. So, I am God. God has no existence, no form. So that's how they become impersonalists. So impersonalists are the most frustrated spiritualists. This is what Prabhupada means. Like Prabhupada says, okay, the last part of the lesson now, somebody else can read it.
So if there are sometimes slight disagreements between devotees, it is not due to impersonalism, but because they are persons. And such disagreements should not be taken very seriously.
If anyone have been to Las Vegas, there is a famous statement. What happens in Las Vegas stays in Las Vegas. I went there around 15, 20 years ago, so I heard the statement. After that, whenever I go to management meeting, I start with the meeting saying our team, temple team, whatever happens in the meeting, stays in the meeting. Don't please carry forward any conflict we might have in the meeting outside the meeting room. Please keep it within this meeting room, because we will have a point of difference. We might conflict, but please don't make it personal. We are not trying to find fault with each other. So Prabhupada is saying, yes, there's going to be a conflict, because after all, we are persons. There's going to be difference of opinion. Please go ahead.
The devotee is always pessimistic about the material world, but very optimistic about spiritual life. So in this way, you should consider that anyone engaged in Krishna's
Very important line. Say it loudly.
Anyone engaged in Krishna's service is always the best person. I'm very pleased that you are assisting your God brother so nicely. Yes, this is our real position. To be servants of the servants of the servants. And by your quiet and humble attitude, you shall set the example of a Vaishnava, so that all may learn from you. Very soon, their puffed up attitude will disappear, and they will come to you and seek your advice in matters.
Srila Prabhupada. It's a very beautiful letter to set a mood in terms of talking about the topic of Vaishnava relationship. And now I'm going to talk about the concept called as triangle of fulfillment in relation to Vaishnavas. So I'll request everyone to recite this particular verse after me. This is spoken by Narad Muni. Gunadikan mudam lipsa Anukrosham gunadhama Maitram samanam anvichan Natape abhibhuyate Gunadikan mudam lipsa Anukrosham gunadhama Maitrim samanam anvichan Natape abhibhuyate. I'll explain you this verse briefly, what Nadhan is saying, then we'll draw a concept from here. Gunadikan, adhik, more, guna. Somebody is more in qualities than you, we call them seniors. So how do you meet a senior? Gunadikan mudam lipsa, when you meet a senior, have a smile, be grateful, be joyful seeing them, be respectful. Anukrosham gunadhamat. Anukrosham, somebody, gunadhamat, adhamat, has a lesser qualities than you, which means somebody is younger to you. Anukrosham, be kind and compassionate toward him. Maitrim samanam anvichan. Maitrim samanam, somebody is equal in qualities to you, who you would call as a friend or a peer. Maitrim, be friendly to him. And if we have these three kinds of relationship, nataper abhibhuyate, you will not experience the onslaughts of material life. These are words of Narad Muni. And if I get time, I'll give you more Shastri Praman of it from different Mahabhagavatas and similar line. So what does it mean actually? So before I explain further, I'd like to ask you, what I call this, I call it as a triangle of needs, and I'm going to draw a triangle in a short while. But before I do that, I want to see if all of us acknowledge that these three needs are universal, and we all have that. And if you all have that, then it becomes a universal fact, and then we'll explore that. How many of you have ever felt, if you agree with that, raise a hand, okay? How many of you have ever felt, wish I had somebody with whom I can take guidance? Somebody can guide me in my life. Raise your hand high, please. So we have that need. How many of you have felt the need, wish I had somebody who I can call, knock on the door, and can share whatever is happening within me, with my heart, with full confidence. And I know that he or she going to listen to me, to express oneself. Okay. Out of 3, 2 needs have become okay. And the last one. How many of us have given unsolicited advices? If those who didn't understand, how many of us have given advice when you were not asked for? Please raise your hand. Raise both your hands if you agree for all the three needs. Raise both hands. So we agree. And Narad Muni is actually speaking about these three needs here. And this is what I would like to call here. And what it means, when it comes to seeking guidance, we'll call it as a shelter or self-development. So I'm putting two terminologies here, one in the context of a devotee, one in the context of a leader. So you can see wherever you fit into it, what it means. So one is seeking shelter or self-development, growth. That is in relation to senior. That's where we experience that. When it comes in relation to peers, that is about self-expression or loving relationships. And when it comes to junior, that's about social contribution or self-worth. Now, I'm pretty sure all of you understand how important to have friendly relationship, how important is to have senior in our life. But I feel at times when I travel around, devotees miss out on the point how important it is to have people under us who we are caring for, who we are guiding in our life. Particularly if we have been practicing devotees for several years, it is literally imperative for us to find the satisfaction in Krishna consciousness, to be sharing Krishna consciousness with others. Srila Prabhupada in one of the purports in the third canto writes, if you don't share your realizations with others, over a time, all those realizations will leak out from your heart. It's a very, very important need that we need to fulfill. So this is where I'm going to start my focus here. So let's draw the triangle, and we call it triangle of fulfillment, but there is a very important aspect of this triangle of fulfillment. The center of the triangle of this is not you and I. The triangle will act as a triangle of fulfillment if the center of this triangle is Krishna. Remember, Prabhupada said, all the faults, all that envy becomes transcendental because it's in service to Krishna. So what we're talking about is in relation to Krishna towards the devotees. So this is what, keep this picture in your mind as we move forward. So this is the triangle of fulfillment, triangle of need. This is in relation to seniors. This is for equal, and this is for our juniors who we are guiding them. All right, so this picture is clear. I've already said this is about seeking guidance or self-development. I thought I have written it here. I forgot maybe. And that's about loving relationship or self-expression. And the third side, end of the triangle, that's about self-worth or a social contribution. We all have that need. These are the three needs Narad Muni is speaking about in this particular verse. So let's begin with need for self-worth. So we are on the same page. We all have acknowledged we all have these needs. As part of the seminar here today, I'm just going to speak a little bit about how you can fulfill. On Tuesday, I'm going to talk about the skills, how we can really take care of people, what are the skills required. If in case some of you are not here, I can share the PPT and the video. You can watch it later on. Those recording is available. So let's begin with need for self-worth. Importance of social contribution. Let's start with Prabhupada's words on this topic. Prabhupada says, this is Srila Prabhupada lecture, Srimad-Bhagavatam, 7th canto, 9th chapter, verse number 4, Mayapur, 11th February, 1976. Somebody would like to please read what Prabhupada is saying on this topic. Pass on the mic. Yes, Uddhav Prabhu, go ahead.
When you become advanced Krishna conscious, then your natural tendency will be how to preach. So long you do not develop this tendency for preaching, simply remain in Kanishta Adhikari. You do not know how to deliver others. Natad bhakteshu chanyeshu. You do not know how to receive elevated. One elevated devotee. You do not know how to do good to others.
So when you're progressing in Krishna consciousness, you would but naturally want to share it with others. And our previous presentation ended with moving from Kanishta to Madhyama Adhikari. So Prabhupada said this is what natural. What does Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita? You don't have to necessarily quote a verse. You can say the English translation. What does Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita about who is the most dear to me in this whole creation? Yeah, who shares the message. Krishna says, nobody as dear to me in the world as the one who shares the message with others. I just quoted the verse here. I'll skip that. That's not needed for the time being. Like that. Okay. Something from Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur onto this topic. This is from Amritavani. Somebody else can please read out. Pass on the mic.
One who gives personal instruction to each.
This is very important. Sorry to interrupt. I'll just explain that, then you can read it out. This is very important. Prabhupada is saying, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur is comparing one-to-one guidance in comparison to public speaking, like giving a class to an audience. What is more important? Please go ahead. Sudama Prabhu, right? Subala Prabhu. Yeah, please go ahead.
One who gives personal instruction to each and everyone does more for others than the platform speakers do. Generally, whatever platform speakers say cannot solve the problem of everyone in the audience, nor can it always benefit every individual. A person's defects are better rectified in a private tutorial class or private coaching than in hearing lectures in a school or college. Therefore, those who instruct particular persons separately can award them something more permanent.
So caring for people. So we, when we read Shastras, when we understand and learn Shastras, we like to give classes. For a preacher, it's an interesting sense gratification. And how many of you agree? Am I serious about it or no? How many of you agree, right? We would like to give because we want to share. But here Bhakti Siddhanta is saying, hey, wait a second. You may have many hands clapping for you, but that's not the greatest service. Greatest service is when you sit one-on-one and help that person. Therefore, I always say when I speak about how to be effective, plan out outreach, actual outreach or preaching starts not during the class. It starts after the class. In class is nothing. Actual outreach, actually heart-to-heart connection starts after your class have ended. But unfortunately, at times when class ends, speakers leave. You're supposed to be present after the class because now you have to preach. What you did was setting the scene. Now Bhagavad Gita begins in action. Okay, let's see further what Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. He made a very famous quote. Maybe I'll just say that and see if you remember. He said, every devotee should shed X number of gallons of blood to take care of others, to make a single soul a devotee of the Lord. How many gallons did Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur said? 20, 40, 300. 300 gallons are quite a lot. I don't know how many, that much blood we'll have. Any other guesses? Okay, let's take a look what Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. He said 200 gallons. Please somebody read out the quote. Anyone else? Yes, Prabhu, please go ahead.
I wish that every selfless, tender-hearted person of the Gaudiya Math will be prepared to shed 200 gallons of blood for the nourishment of the spiritual crops of every individual of this world.
Anyone doctor here? Okay. When I read this, there is a doctor over there. Okay. When I read this quote, I consulted with my physician. I said, 200 gallons of blood, what does it really mean? Can I really give 200 gallons of blood? And he said something very interesting. He said, in what situation you can donate 200 gallons of blood? Mother's getting close to that. He said, if a healthy human being, if he has to donate blood once a week, and if he donates the maximum amount of blood once a week, it will take 100 years to donate 200 gallons of blood. And when he told me like this, I was like, for a second, I took a pause. I said, this is what sacrifice means. Not today, not tomorrow. It has to be now. We can't just say, tomorrow when I'll be ready, I will do that. Because by the time you'll be ready, you may not be able to give 10 ounces. We're talking about gallons here. So like that, about taking care. And actually, in that, we feel sense of self-worth. Please remember, I said social contribution, and also it's connected with sense of self-worth. We feel something we are doing. That's the point about it. Okay, we know a beautiful quote from Upadeshamrita. The text number 4, Dadati Pratigayanati. Guhyam Akhyati prachyati, which means the experienced devotee explains and inexperienced devotee learns. I'd like to tell you something, I'm not sure if you're aware of it or not. So, Nectar of Instruction is a very unique literature composed by Srila Rupa Goswami. Unique in a sense, for every literature that he has composed, whenever he would put a principle, he would justify that principle with Shastric Praman. You know, though this particular text or Veda or Shastra says this is what it is. But anyways, one book is like a YouTube short. You know, the shortest scripture, 11 verses. Now, what are the references of 11 verses? And that information is mentioned by Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur in his Anuvritti commentary of Upadeshamrita. So he explains what are the references for 3 verses. I'm not going to go into details of it. And then he talks about what are the references from the 4th, 5th, 6th. 4th is about developing loving relationship. Because I would not have time, so I will not go on NOI. I'll just keep it onto this triangle of need. 4th is about loving relationship, 6 exchanges. 5th is about how to deal with different categories of devotees. What does that statement often make? Anyways, I'll come back to it. That's about the 5th verse. Krishneti yasya giritam manasadhyeta, dealing differently with different devotees. 6th verse, I already said in the beginning, drashte subhava janati. Do not find faults with devotees. And then comes the 7th verse. Syat Krishna nama charitadi sitapya vidyapito patapta rasanasya narochikanu. Chant the holy names of the Lord. And then finally comes the 8th verse. Kalam naya dakhilam iti upadesha saram. Where Rupa Goswami says, the essence of all instructions is only 3 things. Always remember Krishna, Tannama Rupa Charitati Sukirtanano. 2nd, Tishtan Vraje, reside in Holy Dham. 3rd, serve under the guidance of senior devotees. If you see all 3 things, we do it in relation with Vaishnavas. Machita Madgata Prana, devotees help us to remember Krishna. In the association of devotees, we cultivate remembrance of Krishna. If you're residing in Holy Dham, what do Prabhupada describes Holy Dham? Prabhupada said Holy Dham is ISKCON community. Living in association of Vaishnava is Holy Dham. And serving under the guidance of devotees. All 3 in relation to Vaishnavas. Now the question is, these 5 verses, which are more or less centered around devotees, who spoke this verse? And Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur giving a reference says, these are not the words of Rupa Goswami. These 5 verses, and the particular the 8th verse, which says the essence of all instruction, were the words of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu spoke these 5 verses at the bank of the ocean at Jagannath Puri, and Rupa Goswami documented that. So as much as Shikshashtakam is important to us, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu speaking these verses directly in relation to Vaishnava relationships. A little bit of historical emphasis here. Okay, let's move forward. There are 6 loving exchanges. Okay, so this is about, so far we have talked about the need for social contribution, what our Acharya says about it, and also it's a need for self-worth. So far okay? Anything anyone wants to add to it, clarify, any comment? So we have clarified the 3rd need. Need for taking care. Need for offering care. Okay, so far? Yes, Madhu.
And here we are seeing 2 categories of devotees, experienced and inexperienced. But experience is something which is a continuum.
Can we close the door? There's a light coming on my eyes directly. Yeah, yes, Mother.
Can start?
Yeah, experienced and inexperienced devotee.
And experience is something which is on a continuum. So how does a devotee know if they are experienced or inexperienced?
Okay, let me ask this question back to all of you. What do you think? Are we experienced or inexperienced? What does devotee think about himself? So how do we become experienced? In other words, if we are given the service to take care of others, then we take care according to our capacity. And this is something which we, as I said, is a skill set how to take care. And when we cannot take care, we cannot solve problems, while we are dealing with them, we always know, I am not the best of all. I am still a student learning. And when I'm not able to give them proper guidance or help them, then I connect them to my seniors. The role of us in this whole parampara is to be a transparent medium. Guru means transparent medium. We don't obstruct the growth of that person, by shadowing parampara behind us. So that's the idea. So in general, devotee would always feel, I'm inexperienced. But we are empowered when we are told by our seniors to go and preach. And Prabhupada said, it doesn't matter if you have been in the movement for 7 days, just go and repeat what you have heard from me. And that's how Prabhupada emphasized on that. Okay. Yes, Prabhu. Can we pass on the mic?
Prabhu, just in the continuation of the Mataji's question, I mean, we often come to this situation like, who is experienced? I mean, how do you, is it experience is number of years they practice Krishna consciousness, number of initiations, or what parameters to look at?
So the question here, which is often asked question, who is senior, who is equal, who is junior? Well, according to philosophical understanding, as Rupa Goswami says, it is only a Madhyama Adhikari who has the ability to distinguish and discriminate. For Kanishta Adhikari, he is Uttama. He is the best. For Uttama Adhikari, he is the lowest. Remember the example when Dronacharya asked Duryodhan, go and find somebody better than you. And to Yudhishthira, go and find somebody lower than you. Duryodhan went around the kingdom, came back, and Dronacharya asked, so, did you find anyone better than you? My dear Guru Maharaj, no, I am the best. That is Kanishta. And then Yudhishthira Maharaj went around and came back, and Dronacharya asked, Yudhishthira, did you find anyone lower than you? He said, Dronacharya ji, my dear Gurudev, I am the lowest. I didn't find anyone lower than I. So that's the consciousness of Uttama like that. So, but when we are living in a community, there are certain paradigms or certain, you can say, principles by which we understand and offer respect. Somebody who have joined before than us, kind of service they're doing, managerial position, of course, number of years they have been practicing. These are some of the things by which we at least have certain culture of respect. Because we may not be at a level of consciousness where we can understand who is who. So when we are not that conscious, at that level of consciousness, then we have to have some principles by which we define who is senior, equal, and junior. So we say equal, who came around the same time when we came to Krishna consciousness, plus minus 2-3 years. You can give a window of that. Plus 3 years, minus 3 years. Somebody junior who came 5 years later or more. So that could be a common understanding like that. Secondly, if somebody is on a managerial position, if anyone is in a managerial position, even if he's junior, we have to offer respect. Because he is particularly rendering the service on behalf of the authorities. So if that devotee comes and tells you, for example, we have a particular system of keeping our brahmacharis humble. And what we do in our ashram is, the youngest devotee, we make him as a temple manager. Now that temple manager goes around catching the neck of the seniors. I want you to catch up a broom and now broom the floor. You mop the temple hall. You do this and you do that. And all of us, okay, Prabhu, we have to follow you. It's difficult. It's very hurting to the ego. Particularly when you brought that devotee to Krishna consciousness, trained him up all this while. Now he comes and tells you, okay, Madan Sundar Das, 11 a.m., this is your service now. Go and do it. So, but we have to follow that principle like that. Okay?
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you. Hare Krishna. Okay, we'll take one more question. We'll move forward, yeah.
I'm really curious about what is the consciousness of the Madhyama Adhikari. The Kanishta Adhikari, I got it, that he is always considering he is a Uttama Adhikari. Uttama Adhikari considers he is a Kanishta Adhikari. What is the consciousness of a Madhyama Adhikari? Like what he thinks in his mind.
So 11th canto, when it talks about Kanishta, Madhyama, Uttama, so it describes about how a Madhyama Adhikari conducts himself. For him, for any one of us, for all the devotees. For example, we were with His Holiness Mahavishnu Maharaj in Vienna. After the Harinam, Maharaj was speaking to me and I was thanking Maharaj. And I said, Maharaj, you're a non-stopper. You just don't stop. You continue doing Kirtan. And even if people are not responding to. Then Maharaj said something very interesting. He said, Madan Sundar, they may or may not respond, but I know they all are devotees of the Lord. A very profound statement, and of course a person at his caliber can say, I can't say that, because he sees that way. So that's a level of consciousness one can have. So there are principles define how to govern at each level. At Madhyama Adhikari, of course, Mamai Vamsu Jiva Loka Jiva Bhuta Sanat. Everyone is part and parcel of the Lord. His faith is very strong in scriptures, Shastra Chakshu. But if he finds an envious person, he keeps a distance. While he finds an innocent person, he gives his association to help him become Krishna conscious. What is his consciousness? His consciousness is about how do we convert material energy into spiritual energy, period. And that should be the consciousness for every devotee. How to transform material energy into spiritual energy. That's it. That's what is consciousness. Thank you. Hare Krishna. So I'll move ahead. After completing the seminar, I'll take more questions. We have skits also planned out. Okay, so this was so far about this. Next, I'll talk about how to receive shelter. Because this becomes a little sensitive topic, so I'm not going to go in much details of it. I'll ask you all. So let's begin a question with all of you here. If you want to offer guidance to someone, what kind of qualities would you look into that person so that you can say, I'm there for you to offer guidance? Okay, first of all, he should be demanding guidance, not we want to give guidance. Well, it for it. And we see that in Krishna Arjuna Samvad, Shishyaste ham sadimam tvam prapannam. And the next verse, very interesting, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur writes, Krishna had a smile on his face. If you read the next verse. And then Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, why Krishna was smiling? Anyone knows why Krishna was smiling? He says, now Krishna is thinking, finally, he's willing to listen to me. He has exhausted all what he wanted to speak. If Krishna would have said before, he would not have heard. And now, Hindi में कहते हैं, अब चूहिया पहाड़ के नीचे, something like that is a मुहावरा ना? What is that? Oh, ऊँट पहाड़ के नीचे. Sorry. ऊँट पहाड़, अब आया ऊँट पहाड़ के नीचे. Sorry, somebody want to translate that in English, you can do that. Like that. Anyways. Okay. So yes, he wants guidance, first of all. What else? Who would you like to offer guidance? What kind of qualities would you look into that person? He's not arrogant. Who said that? He's not arrogant, which means humble. We can put that way? Humble. Thank you for that. He should be curious. Inquisitive, curious? Tadvidi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya. What else? You got two inputs. He should have faith on whatever instructions. Oh, very nice. He should have trust on us. How many of you have noticed? I don't know, I should say this. No, I'll not say that. This is a topic which will become sensitive, but maybe on a lighter note I can say. There are sometimes a situation in life where devotees ask the same question to 10 other people. Sorry to say that. But they just never follow that, So that's the point. Okay. I'm not indicating anyone. Okay, what else? Yeah, hungry and foolish. Stay hungry, stay foolish. Famous quote. Fine. What qualities would you look in your student to be able to guide him? Open to communicate. Means? Okay, willing to listen, willingness, inquiry, inquisitive, humble. Yes. Regulated to devotional life. What else? Yes. The goal.
Yeah, like their goals, like what do they want to achieve?
Oh, okay. So they have, okay, fine. What they want to achieve in their life. Yes.
Basic faith on scriptures.
Basic faith on scriptures. Well, our Krishna conscious life didn't start it that way, but we still got guidance. That doesn't have to be that always. Okay. That's like Krishna saying, Sarva dharman parityaja mamekam sharanam vraja. It is on that extent. Whatever I say, you should apply that. That's full surrender. Okay, thank you, Mother. Some comment. Huh? Okay. Willing to take shelter is actually, humbling yourself. Fine. So, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, as all surrender unto me, I reward them accordingly. What's that verse? Ye yatamam prapadyante tam sateva bhajamyam. So whatever you all said is totally correct. Now, when we have to take guidance from senior, we have to have all of that with us. Shri Prahlad Narasimha Bhagwan ki jai. I like to give a quotation from Srila Prabhupada's offering that he read to his spiritual master on the Vyas Puja of his spiritual master in 1962. If somebody has a mic, can please read it out. Prabhu, please go ahead.
Even now, my God brothers, you written here on the order of our master, and together we engage in this puja. But simply a festival of flowers and fruits does not constitute worship. The one who serves the message of the Guru really worships him. Oh, shame. My dear brothers, aren't you embarrassed? In the manner of businessmen, you increase your disciples. Our master said to preach, let the neophytes remain inside the temples and simply ring the bells.
Pay attention. A very important quality is mentioned was seeking shelter. And that was not highlighted so far. And this particular offering by Prabhupada makes it, and I'll give you further Shastric reference for it. Yes.
But just take a good look at the terrible situation that has arisen. Everyone has become a sense enjoyer and has given up preaching. From the seas, across the earth, penetrate the universal shell, come together and preach this Krishna consciousness. Then our master's service will be in proper order. Make your promise today. Give up all your politics and diplomacy.
What Prabhupada is saying about his God brothers, what's missing with them because of which they are not able to follow the spiritual master's instruction? What happened? What went wrong with them? Yes, Sudama, Prabhu. Subala. I don't know why Sudama and Sudama. Yes, Subala, Prabhu, yes.
Striving for different positions, and we're using like politics and diplomacy.
Yeah, but that's a concomitant factor. There's something prior to that happens. Please read the same paragraph. Yes, Prabhu. Sense enjoyer. Look at the last paragraph, and which is that? Which line is there? Yeah, you found it. Okay. Anyways, you saw that. So sense enjoyer. So to be able to take shelter, Lord Shri Krishna says something very important. It's not about only taking shelter, it's all about building relationship. The foundation of any relationship, Lord Shri Krishna speaks in Bhagavad Gita, what is that foundation? And this is the verse for it. And that is what Prabhupada is finding as a fault here with his God brothers. Everyone, Yoga Yukto Vishud Atma Vijitatma Jitendriya Sarvabhutatma Bhutatma Kurvanapi na lipyate. Last two lines says, you become dear to all, you love everyone and everyone loves you if you have two things. You're a devotee of the Lord, and Vijit Atma Jitendriya. Vijit Atma, if you have learned to control your mind and senses, particularly senses, you become dear to all. So sense control is a basic quality that's required in all levels of relationship, sense regulation. Okay, a question for all of you. This is spoken by Krishna. You can imagine how important and crucial would it be, and it's in the pages of Bhagavad Gita. Can you think of any example where a devotee, because of failing to control his senses, in direct relationship with the Lord, spoiled his relationship with the Lord because he could not control his senses? Jai Vijay? No, there was nothing about senses. That's a different pastor in that way. Jai Vijay. They were not standing and eating ice cream on the door of Vaikuntha. Nothing like that. Thank you so much for that. Indra. In direct relationship. Indirect. You are with the Lord. Sudama. What happened with Sudama? Huh? Correct. But can you imagine when same Sudama came to Dwarka to Krishna, how he welcomed him? So there was not a conflict. I'm talking about you were in a relationship with the Lord and then conflict happened. Actual conflict happened because this devotee in relationship with the Lord could not control, as the verse says, Vijitatma Jitendriya. Who? That's kiddish, pastor. So that's okay, that happens there. Durvasa Muni, Durvasa Muni doesn't have any direct service with the Lord. I'm saying where you have a direct working relationship with the Lord. You're there with the Lord. First example from Chaitanya Charitamrita. Kal Krishna Das. Right? He got distracted, and then after the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, I am not taking any servants with me. I'll give you a little more direct reference for this. Let's go to Ramayana. Who do you see in this picture is? Hanuman, okay. What else do you see in the picture? Who else is there? Lord Ram and Sugriv. So this is a handshake and agreement happening between Lord Ram and Sugriv. And the condition was Lord Ram has Sugriv. Sugriv in return helped Lord Ram. Fantastic. Lord Ram have helped Sugriv. Sugriv became the king. Long story short, Lord Ram sent a message to Sugriv, stop the search mission. Now there is a 4 months of rainy season. Sugriva stopped. After the rainy season ends, please send your army in search of Sita. 4 months became 4.5 months. 4.5 months became 5 months. Sugriva was nowhere. And Lakshman became so angry. He said, I will go and kill that rascal. Why Sugriva? I mean, he gave a promise to Lord. And his promise was not like he's giving a promise to the deity or to the photo. He was directly conversing with the Lord. And isn't that Sugriv didn't knew? I mean, Sugriv even saw the prowess of Lord Ram when Lord Ram killed Vali. So it's not that he had some doubt still, maybe he's not Lord, huh? Not like that. Yet, even in the direct relationship, he missed out. What happened when Lakshman reached Kishkinda? Then he realized Sugriva was enjoying with other female monkeys. Because monkey, after all, so he lost. So therefore, Krishna says, sense regulation. I'm giving tips here. It's something for you to, because it's a very long seminar. I'm just giving you some clues to build upon it. Any comment, anything on it so far? Okay? All right. So let's come to the one of the final aspects, and we're going to get ready for the skit here. What are the potential challenges could be while dealing with a senior, having a relationship with the equal, or while offering care to a junior? What could be the potential challenges in these three relationships? And by the way, these are our needs. This is my need. It's my need to have somebody in my life who can give me guidance. And for that need to be fulfilled, I need to have certain qualification. So we discussed briefly on that. It is my need to have a friend in my life. And again, there is certain qualification. And it's my need to share, to guide, to feel sense of self-worth. This is my needs. I want to highlight that, otherwise sometimes we don't recognize our needs. And unless we recognize our needs, we'll never have that level of satisfaction. These are my needs, and I got to fulfill. And to fulfill it, I need to qualify myself. All right, so what are the challenges in fulfilling these needs?
Maybe the other person might be judgmental and we are afraid to judge something in a different way or take the meaning in a different way.
Okay, so other person could be judgmental. Let's talk about from our side what could be the challenge, not from their side, because from their side there could be many. What could be the challenges from my side in dealing with these three levels of relationship? So we assume, so have a problem in that, okay? What else? We don't have trust on that person. Lack of respect. We lack respect in that person. Yeah. What else? We have unrealistic expectations. What else? Lack of understanding. Thank you for all that wonderful inputs. What else? Yes. Huh? Okay, lazy to follow. Okay, so we're not able to keep our commitments. Thank you for that. What else?
Don't see the actual reality of what's happening.
Okay, too absorbed, too self-absorbed. Thank you. Anything else? Yes, Prabhuji, behind. Lack of tolerance. Okay, lack of tolerance. Thank you, thank you. Yes, Prabhu. Okay, difficult to receive corrections. Difficult to receive feedback. Okay, thank you. All right, let's have a quick skit here. We're going to have a quick role play here. So, our Prabhu and Mataji, please come over and we're going to have a short role play. I want you to observe this role play and see what you see in that and what's the problem here. So, we can stand here, maybe here and there. One second, Prabhu. I'll just explain that. So today is a Sunday morning, Srimad-Bhagavatam class. These two wonderful devotees were part of that Bhagavatam class. And we had a hall-packed audience. And Yudhishthira Prabhu, His Grace Yudhishthira Prabhu had given a very fantastic class. This is Duryodhan Das. And this is Gopi Dasi. They were the audience, and now they both are speaking about the class given by Yudhishthira Prabhu, for which everyone clapped. Let's hear from both of them what happens, or what happened in the class. I'll just come aside. Yes, please. So Gopi Dasi will start. Oh, you need a mic, it'll be nice. Do we have a mic? We can pass on the mic.
I thought Yudhishthira Prabhu's class was wonderful. He explained everything so clearly and made the teachings relatable.
Yes, it was okay. But I felt he could have quoted more verses. It wasn't very shastric, if you ask me.
I understand your point, Duryodhan, but I feel that focusing on the positives can help us appreciate the effort and intention behind his class.
Well, it's just that everyone is praising him so much. But I think we should also recognize that it wasn't perfect. There are many others who can give more shastric classes.
Yes, I think everyone has their own style, and so does Yudhishthira Prabhu. And he did a great job in making the class relatable to the audience.
Actually, I know something about Yudhishthira Prabhu, which you may not know. He isn't as advanced as everyone thinks. I just don't understand why he gets so much attention.
Really? I didn't know that. But maybe it's better to focus on the good qualities that he has and the effort he's putting in here.
I'm just saying, we should have a balanced view. It's not right to glorify someone too much without seeing their flaws.
I see what you mean, but I think we will have room to grow and improve. Everyone does. You have, I have. Maybe we can find a way to support each other without focusing too much on the negatives and the faults.
Maybe. It just feels unfair sometimes.
All right, thank
I had a last line.
you. Last line, yeah, Gopi Dasi, your last line.
Let's try to appreciate everyone's contributions and see how we all can help each other improve.
All right,
Thank you.
thank you so much. Please take a seat. Thank you, thank you. All right, so please give a big round of applause for the actors. Remember, we discussed in the first seminar, learn to appreciate. So give a louder applause now. At least we should feel some application happening right now. Okay, so my quick question. Anyone would like to reflect, what did you notice? What was happening between Duryodhana Das and Gopi Dasi? What was the conversation? What was happening? And the second part of the question, I'll sit down, okay. Or maybe I should stand so I can see everyone. And the second part of it, what Duryodhana was trying to do and what Gopi Dasi was trying to do in terms of what Duryodhana was saying. So what was happening here? Any quick response? Okay, so how many of you say Duryodhana, not Prabhu? The role play Duryodhana does. He was actually envious of his senior. Please raise your hand. And because he was envious, he was just not able to see the good. And what was Gopi Dasi doing? So here we had Gopi Dasi, who was trying to show him or tell him the good qualities of Yudhishthira Prabhu. And then what was Duryodhana Das was doing? He was gossiping. What else was he doing? Criticizing. What else was happening? He was going on again and again trying to put Yudhishthira Prabhu down. So much so, well, we should not glorify him too much. You don't know. I know something about him. Very dangerous. I know something about him. And that's where mother said gossiping like this. Okay, so it's a classic case of an envy towards a senior. So my question here is, Imagine if such kind of a feeling within a person, if it is allowed to continue, what impact would it have on the community? If somebody we have in a community who is having such kind of ill feelings for no reason, what impact this person would have it in the community? How would be the ether? Yes, Prabhu. We can pass on the mic. Where's the mic? So we can speak quickly. And the second skit, devotees, please stay ready, get ready. Yeah.
Maybe Dasa will speak also with other devotees and they will paradise. So also do like them, so thinking, oh, it's actually okay to criticize others.
Okay, so others may start criticizing. They think everyone is doing like this. Okay, thank you. Prabhu here.
Due to the attitude of Duryodhan attitude, the relationships will break in the devotee community, and the devotees, because of the lack of confidence, lack of trust, because of lack of trust, they will not open up their heart.
They'll not open their heart. Okay. What about polarization? Community getting divided, polarized. You know, we are here for the same purpose, same cause, but now a polarization is happening. What else? Any other input? Yes, Mother.
Well, for Duryodhan Prabhu, then the community will have a different image of him. So
Okay.
Duryodhan Prabhu's his own
Correct.
image.
What's going to happen to him is secondary right now.
Yeah.
How his conduct is going to affect the community is a concern right now. So it will lead to confusion. Correct. Okay, so that's how dangerous is this envy towards a senior. Okay. And this is coming right from the purport of the verse Gunadhikan Mudam Lipsat. Prabhupada said, when you are in material consciousness, when you deal with the senior, the person would have envy. Oh, how can he be better than I? I am better than him. How can he be better? So we need to take care of it. Okay, let's go for the next skit. Are we doing okay? We can take another skit over here. So, yes, Prabhu, question. Yes, please. Oh, yes, yes, yes. I'll tell you what's that. Correct. Envy in any relationship is going to spoil it, no doubt about it. But we're just kind of highlighting where it manifests. Thank you for that. Okay, let's go for the next skit. Next role play. We have 3 individuals here. In that, there are 2 devotees who are Kirtan leaders. And we have Madhav and Raman, right? They are Kirtan leaders, Madhav Das, Raman Das, they're Kirtan leaders and they're friends, they're peers. And we have, what's the name of the role? And we have Krishna Das. And Madhav Das have just led a beautiful Kirtan and Krishna Das is speaking to Madhav Das. So please watch this conversation. So these are peers and he's a member of the audience. And let's see what happens, okay? Stage is yours.
Madhav, your kirtan last night was amazing. The hall was full and everyone was so moved.
Thank you, Krishna Das. I always try to put my heart into it. It's wonderful to see so many people come together.
Can it be louder, Madhav? Can you repeat? Yeah, once more.
Thank you, Krishna Das. I always try to put my heart into it. It's wonderful to see so many people come together.
Yes, it was good. But I remember last month when I led the kirtan, the hall was even more packed. People were talking about it for days.
Well, both of you have such unique styles. It's great that we have so many talented devotees leading kirtan.
Well, I have been practicing a lot lately. I've been told that my kirtans have a special way of touching people's heart.
That's great, Madhav. I've also been working on some new bhajans. People often tell me they feel a deep connection during my sessions.
It's wonderful that both of you are so dedicated to serving through music. Your efforts really uplift the entire community.
I've also been invited to lead a class next week. They say my teachings are very relatable and inspiring.
That's nice, Madhav. I've been asked to conduct a workshop too. Last time people said they learned a lot and were eager for more.
I feel our characters are too much sattva guna. They're not showing the emotions here. They're mode of goodness personified. Even while speaking their dialogues, they're so detached, so that emotion of arrogance is not coming out. Hey, act in a role a little bit. Become haughty, become arrogant.
You both are doing amazing work. Our community is so fortunate to have such dedicated devotees.
I guess it's all about how deeply we can connect with the audience. Some of us just have that special touch.
Well, it's not just about connection. It's also about knowledge and the ability to share it effectively.
Let's remember that our goal is to serve and uplift each other. Every devotee's contribution is valuable, and we should appreciate the diversity in our approaches.
All right. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Oh. So any comments over here? What did you see? We had two friends, both are Kirtaniyas, and trying, looks like they were supposed to have tug of battle. It didn't come out so nicely. Yeah, next time I'll take this feedback seriously. Next time I'll choose the character. Well, all of you were not there when I was choosing the character. Hare Krishna. So good. So, any quick reflection? What did you see here? What was happening in the community right now?
Each one is afraid of who is getting attention more.
Okay, so they were afraid of who's getting attention more. Okay, what else? Mode of passion and creeping. Well, it was not so visible. They were too much in Sattva Guna. Okay, good. What else? What was happening here? What's happening? What kind of a feeling they were exhibiting? One word. Competition. You can? Well, of course, envy going to be there in all the three relationships. What else apart from envy? Yes. Envy, okay. Yes. Superiority complex, okay. Lack of humbleness. Pride. They were trying to compete. I am better than you. I have a special connection. Oh, well, it's not about connection. You need to have some knowledge also. You know, they were competing with each other like that. There was a sense of insecurity that was breaching in. So this is about a little quick example about the peer relationship. That envy can manifest as pride. That envy can manifest as insecurity. So considering the time, I will not have the skit for the third relationship with the junior. The same envy in relationship to a junior would manifest how? It's all about envy exhibiting at all the three levels. That envy at the peer level exists as pride and insecurity. That same envy towards the junior would exhibit in what format? Suppress, obstruct. Yes, very much. Thank you, mother. You put him down, contempt. Okay. Feeling insecure from a junior when if he's doing very nice. Okay, that can happen. Faster than I, so keep him down. Jealousy, that's envy, jealousy, okay. Controlling. What about exploitative? So, here's how Srila Prabhupada, for that beautiful verse, Gunadikan Mudam Lipsad, with which we started our prayer seminar, this is what Prabhupada says in the purport. And I'll call it, we started with triangle of fulfillment. What I'm going to present now here is a triangle of horror. Horror. Life becomes horrible when we act in this way in these three relationships. So this is what it is about. It becomes the triangle of frustration. Sorry, not horror. Triangle of frustration. So envy towards the senior, towards the equal will have a feeling of proud or pride, insecurity, and towards the junior, it leads to exploitation. So Prabhupada says, we need to move from material consciousness to the spiritual consciousness. And I'll conclude with a quote from Prabhupada. Okay, somebody's taking a picture, fine. No problem. I can share the presentation also, that's okay. I'll just quickly sum up. Come to the quotation from Prabhupada. Yes, Somebody please read out. What Prabhupada says is 3rd canto, 15th chapter.
In the Vaikuntha world, there is no disharmony between the Lord and the residents. Therefore, God's creation in the Vaikuntha world is perfect. There is no cause of fear. The entire kingdom of God is such a completely harmonious unit that there is no possibility of enmity. Everything there is absolute. Just as there are many psychological constructions within the body, yet they work in one order for the satisfaction of the stomach, just as in a machine there are hundreds and thousands of parts, yet they run in harmony to fulfill the function of the machine. In the Vaikuntha Palace, the Lord is perfect, and the inhabitants also perfectly engage in the service of the Lord.
So Prabhupada here is describing what Vaikuntha planet is. It's a place of harmony. Why harmony? There's no envy. There's no sense of that material consciousness. Okay? Somebody else, we can have somebody from the mother's side. Somebody from the mother's side, please read it out.
In the spiritual world, there is religious principle of Krishna consciousness. Is in the principle of Krishna consciousness maintained in the harmony, and therefore that world is called Vaikuntha. If the same principles can be adopted here, wholly or partially, then it is also Vaikuntha. So it is with any society, such as the International Society for Krishna Consciousness.
So I want to remind you, we started our presentation today on this topic by quoting a letter that Srila Prabhupada wrote to his disciple Atri Rishi Prabhu. And he was talking about fault finding and utopian. Utopian doesn't exist. And then Prabhupada is saying, so it is with any society, such as with the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. Prabhupada writes further. We can have another devotee read, please. Next paragraph. Very important.
If the members of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness, putting faith in Krishna as the center, live in harmony according to the order and principles of Bhagavad Gita, then they are living in Vaikuntha, not in this material world.
So what did Narad Muni said? Gunadikan mudam lipsat, anukroshan gunadamat, maitrim samanam anvichan, na taper abhibhuyate. You will not experience material inconveniences. So, again, my objective of this presentation, while we talk about devotee care, oftentimes a question is asked, who is supposed to offer care? Yes, we all need to offer care. Leadership has a responsibility, and I definitely emphasize it without a doubt, and I'll do that when we have seminar on Monday and Tuesday. But while we do so, we also have to understand our responsibility towards giving care and, more importantly, receiving care. There needs to be a certain way how we conduct ourselves. And that is the point here. So we have 3 needs to be fulfilled. Whose needs? Not yours. My need. And I need to take care of my need. I need to qualify myself to be able to fulfill that need. And we can't ignore it. Is that setting in? All right, let's continue ahead. Please go ahead, Mother.
One person is envious of another, and this is the way of a
Oh yeah,
material.
okay. This is another purport. This is 5, 13, 11 purport, and we conclude with this quotation. Here Prabhupada is writing, what is the goal of ISKCON? And we conclude with this slide. What is the goal of ISKCON? Please go ahead.
But the Krishna consciousness movement aims at creating an atmosphere of non-envy. Of course, it is not possible for everyone to become Krishna conscious, but the Krishna consciousness movement can create an exemplary society wherein there is no envy.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. That is possible when we have Krishna in the center of our relationships with seniors, with equals, and with juniors. This triangle of fulfillment turns into triangle of frustration. Did you notice in that picture? Who was in the center? I forgot about that. Oh, that's long ago. Anyways, I can just quickly show that. I should have. Yeah. Who was in the center? Yeah. So this is something I forgot about highlighting this. Me needs to be replaced with Krishna, then it turns into a triangle of fulfillment. So with this, I will pause here. Thank you all for your kind attention. Anyone has any questions or comments, we can open the forum. And Monday, Tuesday will continue. On Tuesday, particularly Tuesday evening, I'll be speaking about what are the skills required to care for others. What actually care means in application. And that topic is equally relevant for those who are in outreach and preaching, because care is a very essential component to cultivate Krishna consciousness with others. Any concluding comments? Any questions to clarify? Yes, Prabhu. And then, so officially we conclude the class here. If you have other engagements to attend to, you feel free to move around. I'll just take some questions here. Yes.
No, thank you, Prabhuji. It was very wonderful conversation. Just curious to know, how do we get this presentation? And you said also you will share the link of videos.
So those who need that, they can get in touch with me. I'll provide them like that. And those of you who are here in town, please do attend in person on Tuesday evening. I'm not sure if that can be made live. Otherwise, you can watch it live. Or else I can provide the recording of it, which we can do it right now after the session.
Thank you very much.
Those who need presentation, they can contact me. My email address is there. Otherwise, you can just take a picture, send me an email. I'll reply. And those who need something now, I can give it now also. Yes. Anything else? We had a hand up. Yes, Mother.
The beginning of the class, you mentioned that the actual class starts after the class. So would you be there after the class?
Oh yeah, I'm there after the class. As I said, class has officially ended. I'm already there after the class.
Okay, we'll come to you.
Therefore, I said, you feel free to go, but I'm sitting here to serve if anyone has anything.
One-on-one. Okay, thank you, Prabhuji.
Prabhuji, one question. In the class, I think you have mentioned that a Madhyama Adhikari stays far from the envious.
Yeah. Non-envious. Envious people, yeah.
Envious people. So, which means like when we face some experiences in our life, like it's always recommended as per Shastra?
No. What it means by envious towards devotees and envious towards Krishna, not envious to you. So, Madhyadhikari, he distinguishes. So, he is trying to share Krishna consciousness with everyone. But he will give attention to those who are innocent. They may be ignorant. That's all of us are ignorant. But he will not spend time with somebody who's envious. I believe His Holiness Sachinandan Maharaj was making this point, right? A reporter immediately put a mic to Prabhupada's face. Swamiji, did you see Krishna? And then Prabhupada responded, well, would you like to see Krishna? And the reporter said, no. And then Prabhupada said, well, if you don't want to see Krishna, then what can be done about it? So you see, somebody says no, what do you do with such a candidate? So that's just Janasya Krishna Vimukasya Daiva. This is what Maitri says. Sudukhitasya Janasya Krishna Vimukasya Daiva Sudukhitasya Adharma Shilasya. Those who are envious of the Lord, they have turned their face away and they engage in the sinful life. So they don't want to hear about the Lord like that. So that's the point. But if you're talking about if somebody is envious towards me, then it's a different way of conduct. So if that's your question, a quick answer for that is, if it's in the devotee community, I can humbly offer this. You may like it or not. At no cost, I as a devotee will ever close my door to any devotee. That's the principle, at least I try to follow as I've learned from my senior. At no cost, I will close my door for any devotee. If you wish to talk to me or not talk to me, you have that freedom. But if you ever come to me, I would not remember, 10 days ago you did not hear to me. I will not ever act in that way with you. So I would always be there if you need me. Now, if somebody is having some issues with me or whatever you call it, envy in that way, we keep a safe distance, happy distance. We offer our respects, or maybe we may not have a working relationship for timing, that's okay. Let him have a peace of mind, you may have a peace of mind, and accept that because there are always going to be some faults around. After all, in the material world. And after all, we are still taking the shower, as Prabhupada said. So don't expect utopian idea that all of us should have taken shower. They should have already become self-realized. They're always going to be. And the last thing, again another principle you can keep in mind. Those of you are preaching around and if you have students, and if any student is troubling you a lot, it is particularly sent by Krishna to you to teach you. how you had been a troublemaker to your senior. You can note it down. Please try to see Krishna in every situation. If anyone has been a troublemaker to you in your life, particularly as junior who have been guiding all this while, Krishna has inspired him to teach you how to conduct appropriately towards your senior. Because when somebody does not behave, we observe that, but we fail to observe how I behave towards others. So there has to be some way of learning. And if we are not learning directly, then Krishna will use our students indirectly to create trouble to us. And you will call them, he is rascal, he is ungrateful. Wait a second. Somebody is yelling the same thing for me also. And it really helps to improve ourselves. At least I can say I have a lot to improve. So like that. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you. Thank you very much.
A mother has something to say? Yeah. Can pass on the mic. Once again, I repeat, class has ended. You're free to move around, okay? I'm just doing out of class exercise here.
So Madhyama is helping to innocent, but avoiding those who are envious to Krishna and devotees. But there are devotees actually who are envious, and they do not like grab it, so to say. Don't you can see it, but he is not. He cannot accept it.
Correct.
So, what can be done for that devotee? What shall he do to get rid of this envy, and from the not only to avoid? I don't know how to help to that person.
You can only help that person when that person asks help from you. First point. So it's not that we are there to help everyone. Nobody is going to accept that. That's the first thing. Second thing, if we say that devotee is envious, matter of fact is all of us are envious. We are here in this material world because we were envious. The only difference is his degree of envy and my degree of envy could be little different. But it's not that I am not envious anymore because I'm still in the material world. That's the second point. And third point, Prabhupada, there's a beautiful letter, I didn't include it here. Prabhupada writes on the topic of envy. One devotee was complaining to Prabhupada that so-and-so devotee is envious. And Prabhupada said, it is none of your business. It is business of Krishna. That devotee and Krishna, they have to manage their thing. You do what you're supposed to do, what you have been asked to do. And you set an example. You be a role model. And don't worry about what's happening because everyone has got one-on-one relationship with the Lord. If we have taken shelter of the Lord, and therefore Prabhupada said, not pure devotees, the devotees are better than the kings. At least for I should have that outlook towards others. And of course, Kanishta, Madhyama, Uttama, we offer different levels of respect. And for somebody we are not able to align so well, we can offer this respect from a distance and pray for that devotee. That, make Lord guide him. And Krishna is taking care of each one of us. And in a different way, the way we can accept his instructions, Krishna is offering instructions to us, either directly or indirectly. And if in case you're really worried, then you can go to his or her well-wisher and share your concern. Prabhu, I'm as a genuine well-wisher, not in the mood of fault-finding. I just wanted to bring to your kind attention. He's a wonderful Vaishnava. When it comes to giving a feedback, we call it as a sandwich formula. Always keep in mind, always say what are the good qualities, because we don't know, maybe we are envious of him. So it's better for us to think good things about him. Prabhu, he or she is such wonderful Vaishnava, Vaishnavi, but my humble request, you being his senior or mentor, these are one or two areas where he or she can be given some guidance and assistance. And I'm pretty sure this devotee will be fantastic. And I anyways love this devotee. Nitai Gaur, Haribol. Hare Krishna. Thank you everyone. Oh, yes, Mother.
I'm sorry. Also about the envy. What if envy it is I have towards Krishna, because there is sometimes like overwhelming. So towards Krishna and devotees, when I want to hide myself, and there is some such kind of emotions that are coming. And overwhelming.
They're always going to be that. We are at the, we have just started devotional life, and that's what purification means. What are we getting purified of? We are here because of one thing, envy. And what needs purification is that. And through humble devotional practice, with humility and gratefulness, we counteract this quality of envy. So I don't think so we need to shy away from that reality. And therefore, as Rupa Goswami talks about Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti and Raganuga Sadhana Bhakti, very categorically describes we are practicing Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti. We get up in the morning at 4:30 and come here. I'll give you an example. It was 4:29 a.m. and a congregation where I have a community, they were coming. And I got late for the morning program. I was rushing to the temple hall. And my dhoti was not properly tied up, it was flying up. And I did not put a kurta, I had a uttari. And the uttari was also flying. And I went to the temple hall, Mangal Aarti ended, this devotee came to me, Prabhu, seeing you today, rushing to the altar to see darshan of the Lord, I was reminded of gopis. How gopis will run to the altar. For a second, it took a while. What exactly happened? When did I run? He said, before the Mangalati. I said, wait a second. No Gopi Bhav. I had to mark my attendance. Otherwise, I had to write 108 Mahamantra for being late. So I was not running because I had Gopi Bhav. I was running to mark my attendance. So whatever we do according to Rupa Goswami and the system that we're following is under the direction of Guru. Chant 16 rounds, read Prabhupada books, come for morning program. It's not that we like to do. Some of us may like to do, no doubt about it. I'm not saying that everyone not. But as we are progressing, then we'll begin to do it ourselves. We will not need a system. Oh, come to 4:30 or else you have to write Mahamantra. So like that. And when we eventually, the Raganuga, as Rupa Goswami talks about it, then you don't need any instruction. Then you're self-motivated to do it. So which means what I'm trying to say is, if we are at the Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti, we would have these base qualities. But most important, and to answer this and conclude her question here, we are here not to ask the Lord to serve me by purifying me. That is not what devotee ever prays. We don't go and tell to the Lord and tell my Lord, please purify me of another. In other words, we are engaging the Lord in our service. That is not what ever devotee approaches. The mood of the devotee is, my dear Lord, please engage me in your service. Which means, let me do my job profile and Krishna will do his job. I serve him and he will rectify any flaws that I have which are becoming a hindrance in me rendering a proper service. That is the right mood. At the sadhana stage we can have it. Not maybe like Vritrasur as he expresses, but at the sadhana stage, that's how Prabhupada defined Hare Krishna definition 1966 recording. What does it mean? My dear Lord, please engage me in your devotional service. Prabhupada never mentioned there, kindly rectify my heart of all the anarthas. No. Because if you think more about that, we'll get more victimized by that. This is how the mind functions. So don't think about that. Think about Guru and Gauranga and service. You would be more immune to your lower propensities. Hare Krishna. I should officially end the unofficial session also.